From Kirkcaldy. Here in Kirkcaldy, large brick-built factories stand close to the railway line, reminders of a time when this town was well known for the manufacture and export of linoleum. This new type of floor covering was devised in 1877 and was exported from Kirkcaldy right across the globe for over 100 years. However, Kirkcaldy's industrial history stretches back long before the creation of lino. In earlier centuries, it was an important port, trading in salt and coal, nails and linen. But it's always been surrounded by rich agricultural lands with large fields, productive arable ground and woodland all around. Fife farmers grow wheat and barley, as well as potatoes, soft fruit and vegetables. Not all these crops are intended for food. Over 50% of Scotland's grain crop is destined for distilling, and not just for whisky, as you might expect, but also for making the alcohol for alcopops. Overall, the growing food and drink sector is worth about £12.5 billion a year. That's 10% of the total value of Scotland's economy.
I'm James Withers. I'm Chief Executive of Scotland Food and Drink. I'm living in a country that is blessed with one of the finest natural larders on earth. In many ways, Fife probably encapsulates everything that's great about our food and drink industry. And it's become a real economic heart for Scotland now, with the industry growing faster than any other sector of the economy. Our exports are growing at a rate we've never seen before, and Scotland's really going on the world map in terms of food and drink.
The farmers whose harvests provide high-quality food and drink also have an important role to play in managing the land for conservation, helping to protect many species of bird, plant and animal. Small birds constantly dive in and out of the hedges and fields around here in search of the seeds and insects on which they thrive. If you look towards the edges of the fields, you may sometimes notice a wide area that hasn't been ploughed. Farmers are encouraged to leave such areas each year to provide food for the birds, and it's the same with many of the hedges. The farmers do cut them in winter, but not too short, so as to leave nesting and feeding places. It all really helps to encourage the return of small birds, like the rare corn bunting and the slightly more common yellowhammer.
I remember visiting a farm, it was actually in Fife, and meeting a farmer there who must have been in his late 70s, and the huge pride he took in managing that habitat and that wildlife, and over his years had seen some farmland bird species decline, but now seeing a real resurgence, and the pride he took in not only being able to feed the nation and put food on our plates every day, but manage that incredible diversity of habitat and wildlife species we have was really a pretty special experience.
Having travelled across Fife's flat and then undulating farmland, you eventually reach the banks of the Firth of Tay, where the river flows into the sea. Here there are other rare birds that prefer a different environment. They include the bearded tit, the water rail and the marsh harrier, which live among the reed beds of the Tay near Perth. These reed beds used to be commercially harvested for roof thatch, which was a benefit for the birds, but nearly 10 years ago the harvesting ended due to competition from abroad. Conservation charities are now cutting patches of reeds in the winter so that these unusual birds can breed in varied habitats. Their return each spring is a welcome reminder of the rich variety of wildlife in Fife and beyond.